Hello everyone and welcome back to 30 Days of Java. Today we'll be looking at a very important topic of every programming language, arrays. Our agenda for this video would be to first understand what is an array and why is it needed. Then we'll talk about its declaration and initialization, followed by how we can access its elements. Finally, we'll also talk about some of the inbuilt methods and properties related to array that are very helpful while writing code. So let's begin. Now, as per the definition, an array is a data structure that allows you to store multiple values of the same type under a single variable name. If you have some experience with coding, then this might make sense to you. But if you're new to it, like Rupert here, then this might be a little bit confusing. So let's understand this in simple terms. Suppose you have 10 apples and you need to pack them up for a customer. Then you can either pack them all in different bags, or you can just get a big bag and pack them all up for the customer. Now the second approach is way more efficient than the first one. Similar thing is followed in coding. If you have to store the age of all students in a class, then you can either create separate variables to store all of their ages, or you can just create an array which would store all the values. The first approach is quite inefficient and difficult to debug, whereas the second approach is more readable and easy to debug. When declaring an array, you use the basic syntax, data type, followed by square brackets with a space, and then the array name. Alternatively, you can place the brackets after the array name and it will function the same way. To initialize an array, you can use the following methods. The new keyword is utilized to create a new array object with specified initial values. In the example, an array of length 4 is instantiated with elements 1 to 4. Alternatively, you can create an array by specifying only its length. In this case, the array arr4 has a length of 4 elements, and since no initial values are defined, all elements will default to 0. You can access array elements using their index. Array indices starts at 0 for the first element and go up to length -1, where length is the size of the array. Let's understand what index means here and how does an array look like in computer memory. You can think of an array as a line of people. The line starts from left to right, and every person in the line has a position. Similarly, arrays in memory are stored in a line. This is known as contiguous memory allocation, where elements are stored next to each other in memory, forming a sequential block. So you can think of index as position of array elements. The only difference is it always starts from 0. Now let's try everything that we have learned so far in IntelliJ. Let's first start with creating an integer array. We'll type in int per bracket arr, that is the name of the array, then new int. We'll also initialize it here, so we'll type in curly braces 1, 2, 3 and 4. This would create an array named arr with a length of 4 containing elements from 1 to 4. Now an array can be of any data type. It can be a float, double, string, anything. You just need to change the data type in its declaration and initialization. For creating a float array, you can just type in float arr1 equal to new float. While initializing its values, you need to put in 0.1 f. F here denotes that the value is of floating point nature. 0.2 f. This would create an array named arr1 with a length of 2 containing elements from 0.1 f and 0.2. Now you can also create an array without initializing it while declaration. You can do that by just typing in int arr2 new int, and then you'll need to provide the length of the array. We'll type in 3 here. This would create an array named arr2 with a length of 3. Now all the elements inside this array would be defaulted to 0. It would look something like this: 0, 0, 0. Now, for traversing or going through all the elements of the array, we can use a for loop. We'll just need to type in for int I arr. This would traverse all the elements of the array arr. Now if I type in this out, now if I run this program, you can see it printed out all the elements of arr, that is 1 to 4. You can do a similar thing for other arrays as well. For floating point array, we'll just need to change this arr to arr1 and the iteration variable to float. If I run this program, you can see it printed out all the values of the floating point array. Now before we end this video, I would also like to talk about two of the important properties and methods of an array that are used widely in production environment. In the following for loop, we are traversing all the elements of the array. Now suppose if I only want to traverse the first two elements of the array, what would I do? For that, we can use the length property of an array. Let's remove this first. Now type in for int I equal to 0, since the indexing of the array starts with 0. I smaller than arr.length I++. Now for accessing the elements of the array, we'll type in arr then I. This tells the compiler to find the elements stored at the index I of array arr. If I run this program, you can see I still got the same result back: 1, 2, 3 and 4, which are the elements of arr. Now if I change the condition here and add -2 here, now if I run this program, it would only give me the first two elements back. You can also fetch the elements of the array by just specifying the index. If I type in out arr1 and then 0, if I run this program, you can see it gave me back 0.1, which is the first element of array arr1, 0.1f, which is at index 0. Now another method that is used widely during competitive programming or in technical interviews is sort method. The sort method can be used for sorting out the elements of an array. Suppose if I change the elements of the array of arr from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5, 8, 1, and 0. Now these elements are in unsorted manner. Now suppose if I need to sort them in an ascending order, so you can just type in array sort and then the name of the array. This would sort the array named arr and then store it in the same variable. Now if I print it out, you can see it sorted out the array for me: 0, 1, 5, 8, that is in ascending order. 0.1 is from this. These are two of the most important things that we'll use with arrays. As always, we'll end this video with a motivation quote that says, "Future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Thank you for watching and have a great day.